Clayton and Ellen Kershaw's Ping Pong for Purpose, benefiting Kershaw's Challenge. Rob Lowe, the host tonight, but really the star of the show is not Clayton, Rob Lowe, or anybody else. It's number one Dodger fan and, more importantly, a close personal friend now of the show. That's one of the greatest musicians, guitar players in the world, Brad Paisley. And look, he's standing right in front of us. Hi, Brad.
How are you, David? That's exactly how I hoped you would introduce me tonight.
I know. And you're wearing the black Dodger hat tonight, not the same blue, lucky Brad Paisley Dodger hat.
I needed a change of luck from the last time. I was eliminated one round in last time, so I got to do better this time.
Oh, so you're actually playing ping pong.
Yeah, totally. Me and my good friend Kevin Nealon is my doubles partner. Wish us luck. He's really good, but we've never done ping pong where we're not against one another. So being a team is going to be very difficult, I think.
So you are friends with Clayton. Do you ever play ping pong against him in his home?
I have.
And?
I have never won against Clayton. Not one time. When we went on vacation together once, we played an entire afternoon, and I never beat him one time. I think every now and then he would let me get a little bit closer to where I would have hope, but then he would just take me out.
This is amazing. Brad Paisley is our guest, our first one of the night, as we are going to be with you until 8 o'clock on Off Day Dodger Talk live from Dodger Stadium. And I know you've been itching to join us since Friday night because of the Sweep Diego series.
Oh, man. I texted you about that. This has been one of the more beautiful weekends in Dodger history in that sense. Not only just the fact of what they did for Vin and the presentation and the heart that I sense that they played with because of that, but to then give him not only a win the night of the presentation of his remembrance ceremony and all of that, the saying goodbye, but then to give him a sweep.
Yeah.
Against this team that really thinks they have what it takes to dethrone the Dodgers. And, it was really a beautiful weekend.
Were you a little nervous going into it with all the new acquisitions, or did the Dodgers have to prove something to you, Brad?
I wasn't nervous, but I wondered about the momentum shift of a team that, what it means for a team to think they have what it takes. That's kind of what it takes, is thinking you have what it takes. And I thought maybe they'd roll in here thinking, oh, man, look at us. We're contenders now. But if we've learned anything, I think the most successful years we've ever had aren't the years where we went and traded for the top acquisition. It was the years where we played with what we had, and that's when we won. Yeah. I mean, when you think about 2020, we didn't really pick anybody up.
No, there was no trade deadline in 2020.
Right, and that's who we started with. That's who we finished with. And I think this year was a really good example of we didn't really need much of anything,
Except the players that are on the injured list to return.
Yeah, there's that. But even without him this weekend, it was something.
The Dodgers put the Padres back in their place. It feels like the Padres, no matter who puts on that uniform, there's this inferiority complex that they play with, and I feel like it backfires on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I feel like they're trying to prove themselves to Big Brother so badly that they press at the plate.
There's definitely there's such a thing as wanting it too bad.
Yeah.
I
feel like that could be a song.
Let me write that down. Get that on my notes here. Yeah, you're right.
By the way, just to put it in context, Brad has been traveling, touring all over the world. You've been texting me from places like Iceland, watching, keeping tabs on the Dodgers. So you just landed. Where did you come from?
I was in Tennessee until today, but we were over in Europe for 3 weeks. I'm all messed up time-wise, but it was so weird. It's the first time that I've been over there in the middle of the season when watching games is tough. When you have, sometimes you've got people that I've heard them call in from Australia and Europe. It is an absolute feat to figure out how to listen at that point. And what I would do every day, wherever we were over there, I would wake up in the morning and I would listen to the Dodger Talk podcast as the recap.
Wow.
So you were my morning jog, and I would listen to you take calls from callers, and I could pretty much put together what happened from StatCast, looking at what happened and then listening to what you would do and who would complain about what. And there wasn't much to complain about.
No, how about Max Muncy starting to come around now?
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need him, and he's been so important over the last few seasons, and now if he wakes up, it's going to be nuts. And Cody too.
Yeah, Cody, 2 home runs yesterday.
Yeah, it's something. So it's going to be fun to. I think the next few weeks are going to be fun to watch.
All right, Brad Paisley, you're not here just to chop it up with me. Ellen Kershaw.
That's what I'm here for.
I know. You have to warm up, but I want to allow you the time to mingle with the people that you're here to see too. But I can't talk to Brad Paisley and not ask you about how much Vin Scully meant to you. You have your own voice for your fans, and he certainly had a voice for all of us. I know you became a Dodger fan in the 2000s, so how big of a part did Vin Scully play in that?
Big. He is somebody that when you think about certain people in certain industries that will never, ever be surpassed in what they did, it's really rare that a human being does something perfectly. And he did it perfectly. He did something that's this intangible thing of sports broadcasting that there's just no way you could have done that better. And what I'm really, first of all, I'm honored I got to meet him. First few years that I ever did anything with the Dodgers, he was down on the field and he was a part of that, and so gracious. Just as everybody's got their stories. No one has a dissimilar story to how Vin was when you met him. But he was somebody that I think, when you think about the fact that he was ours, and every single ball club in the country's mourning his loss, it just doesn't happen these days. That no one roots for anyone else anymore.
Yeah.
There's not that, but Vin was somebody that was a connector, and he made everybody happy to be, part of the sport. And you didn't have to love the Dodgers to love Vin. And it was really, I don't know. I think that is a life well lived, and we're lucky to have had him.
No doubt. And you saying all that reminds me of the impact you've had on Dodger fans, because, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, national anthem rendition was performed by you when they let fans back in after the pandemic. I'll never forget that day.
I loved that one too. There was something special about that one. It felt like some sort of they had lifted the veil.
Yeah.
And another one that I stood there feet away was the 2017 World Series. I did an anthem, and at that one, it was the first home game, I think. I'm trying to think. But anyway, remember when Vin did stand up on the mound for about 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And Tommy, and he did that, and Oral was out there, I think, and they brought out, who'd they bring out? I'm trying to think who was there. Anyway, it was insane to be that close to that greatness, and see all of that. But I love the sport, and the fact that we had an icon like that all this time, 67 years, is unbelievable.
Soundtrack to our summers, Brad, no doubt.